What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk the Ring Show. If you do not know who I am, then that means you are not subscribed. And if you are not subscribed, you're going to be missing so many great episodes. So just hit that subscribe button because it is sitting right there. And guys, the pressure is on today. This is our 100th episode, which is so crazy to think. Like, I started this a year ago, and like, look at where we are now. But can we just say, like, today's guest is kind of nerve-wracking because I said it yesterday with RJ on here. But them Samoans scare me, and I love AFA to pieces, but he scares me. So let's give a warm welcome to the Samoan store, AFA Jr. Hello, how are you today?
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? How are you? Good.
I'm living the dream, it's crazy. I was like waiting so long to have you on here. I'm like, what if he says no? Like thinking over and over again, because like, yeah. But obviously we have my dad in the chat hyping you up already because he's our hype man, because that's what he does best.
Oh, man.
But it'll be fun. So we gotta hop right into it with the hardest question. Thinking back to itty bitty AFA, who or what got you involved in wrestling?
Yeah, that's easy. I was born into it.
Yeah, but like if people are living under a rock. Go ahead.
So back in the day, I originally didn't even want to wrestle. I was a 3-sport athlete growing up. Football, baseball, basketball. I played it all. And I originally didn't even want to wrestle. I was always around wrestling, had wrestling in my backyard. My dad was always training everybody at the training center. But I was always just an athlete first, until one time I went to Sports Fest in Allentown. It was in 1998. I was 13 years old. And The Rock was there. Owen Hart was there. Mankind was there. It was crazy. There was the amount of people that was like Woodstock, people as far as the eyes could see, and I had the chance to go in the ring as a little leaguer. I was on the baseball team. Our team won the championship, so my whole team was there. And we got a chance to go in the ring, bounce on the ropes, act like wrestlers for a moment. But it was in front of 20,000 people. So just being in that ring, in the atmosphere, and feeling that, even though it was during intermission and everybody's getting their hot dogs, nobody's paying attention, but just being in that environment, I went and I ended up becoming full. Like I started my career like a month later from that moment, so that was about July of 98 and I started in August of 98. So about a month later, I was fully committed and ready to go.
No, yeah, that it's definitely like different from seeing the ring compared to actually being in it. Like what me, like 6-year-old me, was like, yeah, we're gonna be a wrestler. 16-year-old me, like, I don't know, like AFA and his squad is doing pretty good at it, so I think I'm gonna leave it to that. But no, that's definitely crazy. Like you definitely were born into it, and you have a gazillion cousins, and your family is obviously.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't your average 13-year-old. Like I was 6'2", 190 pounds, a little crustache going on. So you couldn't even tell I was 13. But I started in Europe though because I was too young to wrestle in the States. So I started over in Austria, where they speak different languages. And it was pretty hard.
No, yeah. So obviously you kind of mentioned your dad, AFA Senior, was a trainer. Is he the one who originally trained you and gave you like all the skills in your mind?
Yeah. So like, I was originally trained by my father, AFA the Wild Samoan. My two brothers, Samu and LA Smooth Lloyd, they were the actual ones who were hands-on with me while my father was like supervising. But yeah, so they broke me into the business. Further along in my career, I ended up being trained by Bill DeMott at the WWE, and also Dr. Tom Pritchard.
That's crazy. And that's like great. Like just looking at you, like I remember you on TV. I was like, oh my God, like now thinking now I could be freaking crying in the next 15 minutes. Be like, oh my God, I talked to AFA on my podcast. Like it's different seeing you at the shows, but actually having you on and getting to hear obviously your story and everything is definitely crazy.
Right. That's all good.
Yeah. So obviously, the battlefield. You have your own school. What is it like having your own school, and what is expected from your students?
So the battlefield is it's like a culmination of my whole career and learnings. It's a little bit of well, a lot of what I learned from my father, and the standard that the Samoans hold in training. And then I mix in a lot of my life experiences and stuff that I've learned along the way from Dr. Tom and Bill DeMott and a little bit of Booker T and some hard stuff in there. And I've been around, so why not
Yeah.
share what I've done um, at a brand new level. Because our father, my dad, he's always had the Wild Samoan Training Center. And then my brother Sam had the Wild Samoan Training Center, and my cousin Kishi and my cousin Reno, they're out there in California. They're training everybody, and you know, it's in the family. It's in the blood. So I was really
Quite
excited.
literally.
I was really
Yeah.
excited to be able to start the battlefield, and be able to put it in a facility that we have, because coming up, even from a long historic family like I have, we never had facilities like we got now. We've never had the full performance center. We've never had the dojo side. We've never had the gym, everything that we have at the performance center. We never had that. So I'm very, very excited to see what this new age of Samoan trained wrestlers are able to do. Because I mean, my dad and brothers, they set the bar really high with their students out of our garage. So now that we have the facility and we have all the bells and whistles, it's
No.
I'm curious to see which one's going to go first, because I feel like
Yeah.
once one goes, it's going to be a floodgate, and I feel like we're going to lose a lot of talent when that happens.
Well, I mean,
But
especially like being trained by
sooner or
you,
later,
obviously it's gonna happen. Yeah, exactly. It's
it's
gonna
going to happen.
happen when you're trained by you, big brain, wrestling brain Samoans. So it's definitely great. I especially like to see all the clips and promos and everything you do. So it's amazing. So if someone wanted to train and decided to train, what should they expect, or what should like they know going into it?
So we look for we just don't accept everybody. We're looking for a certain kind of athlete. We're looking for a certain kind of individual. We're not necessarily here to train weekend warriors. We want people with goals. We want people, team players. There's like a vetting process that we go through. So we want good people, good humans, and people who are hungry and eager to work. Because it's an individual sport, so we're trying to do it differently by doing the whole team thing. So we all root each other on over here at the battlefield. We all push each other to be the best that we could be. You're always going to be in the ring with someone better than you, and from my experience, that's how you get better, is by just dancing with people better than you. So that's our that's how we do it here. We work hard. We train 4 days a week, and we prepare you for the next level, for a long-term career in this business.
That's
If you
great.
just want to come and if you just want to come and say that you're a wrestler once a month or something like that, there's plenty of other places you can go train. But we're
Yeah.
looking for, we're a university. If you go to community college, if that's what you want. We want people with goals. We want people driven. We want people who are going to put in the time in the gym and change their bodies and listen, and be coachable. So that's
No,
that's a big
yeah.
thing in wrestling.
No, I really like that because, like, you gotta, especially with the battlefield mainly, like, you gotta be dedicated to do like what you love. And if you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna show up to trainings whenever I feel like it and just eat however I want, you're not gonna go and progress like all these other stars.
You're left
So,
in the dust in the battlefield.
yeah, right.
People will pass you quick. I have people. We have students that come in now that are like super athletic, like they're picking it up and they're ready for matches like in under a month, and I'm like, I have to slow them down. Like, oh, whoa, whoa, like even for my standard, it's like you're going too fast. Like we got to slow down. So
Yeah.
it's a challenge, but it's a blessing to watch everybody's individual journey too. because some people you walk in, you're like, oh, this guy's never going to make it. And then here they are, household name, within the battlefields and growing within the wrestling community, and that's awesome to watch.
No, definitely. Like, especially also like the future shows and the pay-per-view shows. And like, that's a time that you can definitely see, like, okay, these are the futures that is going to be quite literally the future of Battlefield. Like, they're still progressing. You got to give them their time. And at one point, they will be on those big shows, the pay-per-view shows. So I think that's my favorite thing about the Battlefield is seeing the difference between the two shows and seeing like Bryce Reedus and RJ and all the great stars now, like, see them on the bigger shows and see the competition. So it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. So it was like we compare it to NXT and WWE, like main roster and developmental. So the futures is our version of NXT. So it's great because as a wrestling fan, you're able to watch these talents, blossom in front of your very eyes. You don't have to wait until 3-4 years later until they're ready for the main roster. You don't have to wait that long. You could watch these guys grow. You could watch all the changes that they make along the way, because there's a lot of changes that goes. Everybody makes so many changes. If you watch our product from 6 months ago till today, it's completely different. We evolve, and our fan base too. I feel like our fan base is crazy. They're insane. I've been around a lot of shows in the area, and our fans at the Battlefield they're ruthless. Especially in the pay-per-view.
I can definitely agree. Yeah, a lot of times I go to your shows and I'm like, okay, I'm loud, but like, this is my crowd. Like, I'm feeling their vibe. Like, they're loud, I'm loud. It's not like I'm an outcast in this case, because usually a couple other shows I'm usually like the only one screaming like a maniac. But now at Battlefield, I'm like, okay, these are my people. They loud, we loud. It's cool. It works.
They're going crazy. Like our fan bases, they're dedicated, they're loyal. They follow us all around, even on our road shows and stuff like that. Like they're loyal, and that's all we could ask for. And that's what makes it so easy for us to grow as talent and as a promotion, is because we have loyal fans who are eager to see what's next, and they can't wait to see what's next, and they're front and center for it all.
No, definitely. And like that's the thing with me. Like, whenever I go to your shows, I'm like, oh man, now it's over. I gotta wait a whole month for another show. This ain't fair. But then I'm like, well, now we got the futures as well, so I get like 2 shows in a month. So it's cool. It works.
Well, here's a perfect segue. Ready for this one? Breaking news, since it's your 100th episode. Breaking news: the Battlefield has just signed another town. So now Battlefield will now have 3 shows a month that you don't have to wait, once a month or whatever. You're going to catch us 3 times a month now. You're going to have your future show. You're going to have your pay-per-view. And then now we're hitting the road, and we have a new home in Goldsboro, PA, which isn't that far. So we'll be rocking. We'll be rocking 3 times a month now, minimum.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'll be a 16-year-old who's in debt. It's okay. All my money goes to wrestling. It's fine. It's worth it. Be like, oh, you just got paid. No, I'm broke already. I spent it on wrestling. It's fine.
But you know how the Battlefield is. We meet every budget. We meet every budget. Yeah. Not every show is at $30 that the pay-per-views are. You catch your $10 shows. You catch your YouTube shows. We try to, we try to reach out to everybody.
No, definitely. So my dad has a question. It says, what in your past can you reflect on and give advice to people wanting to do what you do?
Yeah. Advice. Do your research. If you want to do what I do, you have to do your research. Really do your research a little deeper than just Google. Once you type into Google and start researching that way, then start reaching out to people who share your interest or who have been on the journey, who could guide you in the right direction. Especially when picking a training center and a camp to go to and affiliate yourself with, you always want to look at the trainers, who they've trained, how long they've been training. Do they have a company? Do they have the feeder system? Who are they associated with? You have to take all that stuff into consideration. So doing your research and not just signing up somewhere just because it's right down the road and local and $20, so do your research if you're really serious about getting into this.
No, definitely. So there's my neighbor's dog. He wants to say hi. It happened last night when RJ was on. So the dog's just saying hi, but my dad's in the
So
chat,
good.
obviously. Yeah, the dog always needs to have the spotlight. Like, I get it. But obviously, so you have
It's
two
all
kids.
good. Dogs need love too.
Yeah. So obviously you have two kids. Do they go to the trainings? Like, what is their thought on it?
Oh yeah, they go to the trainings. They get in the ring. They're doing some rolls. They're not bumping or anything like that yet, but I try to keep them in shape. Try to keep them familiar with the ring and comfortable in the ring. So yeah, they go to school. They do their sports, football and softball, and after that, they come to training, and then they get in the ring and mix it up with us. And they're always around it. They're at the shows. When Raina's there, she's the runner. She'll go grab all the extra gear, all the robes and stuff that everybody wears to the ring and bring it to the back. And, Storm is growing rapidly. So we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, it's a beautiful journey, just to have him in the ring too for what was supposed to be my retirement at the last show was truly special to have them there and have Raina crying, and she was making me cry, and but it's a blessing just to keep the tradition going.
No, I definitely gotta say, your kids are like my favorite little humans ever, but like they still scare me because they're Samoans. Like Raina, I wouldn't even imagine like her mad. I can't imagine because she'll probably like come out of nowhere and do a move on me. I'm like, no. So let me just like keep her happy. She can make her posters as she usually does, have her glow sticks, but let me not piss her off because she's Offa's daughter. So of course,
Right.
but
Raina's always the one that scares everybody too. It's funny.
Yeah, like she's so sweet, but like she has that face. Like if you piss me off, don't worry about it. I'm gonna do something. But it's
That's
cool.
right. That's my girl.
So I gotta put my family on the chat. My aunt recently just went to the Future Show. It was her first ever Future Show, and she is now 100% a Battlefield fan. So there's that. My dad goes and says BPW is taking over. And then we have someone saying, Storm's taller than me. They grow fast. Them Samoans. Like, whenever I stand next to Off, I'm like, were you always this tall? Like, can you just... It's just in your blood.
I feel like I'm shrinking, but, I guess I'm pretty tall,
Yeah, don't lie. You're tall. So
but one of these summer Storm's going to come back, and he's going to be taller than us. He's going to be taller than me and everybody else. Like, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, he'll just be like, surprise, guys, I'm here, and I'm taller than you. The day that happens, because he is younger than me, I'm going to be like, that's it. I stopped growing. I guess I'm just short. No, it's amazing that your kids are involved. Like, when I seen the whole retirement thing, and, like, when I saw Raina crying, I'm like, that's it. Here's the waterworks. I'm crying. My dad's crying. We all crying. But it was a really great moment. So obviously you've been in a gazillion matches, and you've had your run of being a heel and a face. But which one would you say like you prefer over the other?
A heel. I'm a heel. I'm such a heel. Like, not in the battlefield, obviously, everyone loves me here, but oh man, I love ripping people's faces off. I'm so aggressive, like the way I work and the way I move in that ring. I love being a heel.
No, yeah, and you definitely have that heel face. Like, you're the biggest sweetheart anyone will ever meet, but like when he's in that ring, he's a whole different person. Like, it'll be like I just had a conversation with like the nice Offa. No, that Offa like went into a whole like warp. It's a different Offa now. So
gotta flip the switch.
Yeah. So for you, what would you say is your favorite part about wrestling and the wrestling industry and the wrestling world?
My favorite part is Oh man, I'd say it's a toss up between the travel and time spent with the boys. I mean, it kind of goes to both hand in hand because you're traveling with the boys, but that time spent and memories made on the road and stuff like that. That's what it's all about to me. Like, yeah, I've had some great matches, and but it's the memories created outside of the ring, that really stand the test of time with me.
No, definitely. So has obviously you've been in a lot of matches. Is there like one specific match that you always like look to, or like you always say this is like was my dream match, or like something along those lines?
Yeah, like my debut match with Batista, that was like storybook, and it was like someone wrote that for a movie or something like that, just because it was everything happened storybook with my career. Like my when I first signed with WWE, my first match, signed in developmental, was against Tommy Suede, who was a Wild Samoan graduate. My dad trained him, so that was my first match there. And then fast forward to FCW, when I ended up becoming FCW champion, I beat Billy Kidman for that title, who was a Wild Samoan graduate. Um, so he's another Wild Samoan guy, and it was my first title in the WWE. And then when I wrestled Batista, um, we debuted that. That was my first singles match. Obviously, another Wild Samoan guy. So it was like everything just happened the way it was supposed to happen, I guess, with my story. So I'd say the Batista matchup for me was probably my most memorable. The best in ring match that I've had though was against Tyson Kidd. It was a ladder match in FCW, when I lost the FCW title. So yeah, those two stand out for me for sure.
No, and that's amazing. Like, cause a couple of those like still come to the battlefield shows and do like seminars and stuff. So like obviously you've been in the ring with them, and now like your students get that experience of getting a lesson taught from them. So I think that's another one of my favorite things about Battlefield.
Yeah, we're always learning. It's you want to learn from as many people who have gone and done it. You know, so that's the thing with us, is always learning. Like this weekend, for example, we have Marty Jannetty coming in for a seminar. We have D'Lo Brown coming in for a seminar. Next weekend, we have my father off of the Wild Samoan coming in to teach a seminar. So on top of just your training with me, you also have countless seminars that you're available to you as a student here at the battlefield. So I think that's what's separating us, though. That's why our guys are getting so good so fast. Is they're dedicated. They really are. Our guys are dedicated and they're putting in the work. So it's that's a hats off to them.
No, no, yeah. Like it's kind of like obviously like you're their father now, like in the wrestling world. Like they're always gonna look up to you. And every time I have a Battlefield student on here, they're always like, "Yeah, AFA is like my dad. AFA and Battlefield will always be my home." I'm like, that's amazing. Like AFA has like a gazillion cousins, and now he has like a gazillion kids, so it works.
Right.
So you just have
Yeah,
a
for
big
sure.
family. I can't imagine what your family
Huge,
reunions look like.
huge family. You need a couple pictures. Landscape mode, you gotta break out the wide lens.
Yeah, like that big ass lock camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool though that like your legacy and your family, and that gets to reflect on now the students, and those students at some point farther down in their career might end up training more students and forever will have the Samoan traits. So it's really cool. So obviously, WWE, you are a major star there. If they magically just called you and was like, "Hey, we see what you're doing and we want you to do something for us," like WWE, what would your response be?
You better pay me. Costs a lot to shut down the battlefield now.
I love that response. It's
Real.
like, well, simple answer.
Yeah, that's
That's
what that is. I'm not a 18-year-old quick to jump at their first call anymore. Would I listen to them? Yeah, absolutely. I'd hear them out as any businessman would. Um,
yeah.
but it would take a lot for me to readjust and shut down the battlefield, or whatever the case may be, should I have to take on a full-time job with the WWE all over again.
No, yeah. And so like with that being said, do you obviously you don't wrestle as much now, but do you miss being that full-time wrestler every single weekend wrestling, putting your body through them crazy shits?
Yeah, I do. I do and I don't, because it's like when I do miss it, and then like I really get like, if I'm bored, if I have a weekend off where I'm not have where I don't have any matches, which is rare. But if I have that, that rare weekend off and I'm missing it, um, I also have to appreciate time spent, because now I have family time and I have other stuff to consume me with, and that's what I didn't have before. So when I was on the road with WWE, I didn't have any kids. So you put me on the road for 300 and, 320, 330, it doesn't matter. Give me 350 years a day, days a year. I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I would have been on the road. Now it's different. Now I got to be here for my kids. I got to be able to try to make as many football games and softball games as I can. And I got to be here for the battlefield.
No, definitely. And especially like with the kids, like you'll look at them 1 minute and they'll be like 8, 11 years old. And next thing you know, they'll be 16, 17. We're like, Dad, I still love you, but like I'm trying to do my own thing now. Let me go. So definitely gotta
For
take
real.
it in while they're young and be like, forever cherish it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, yeah. So obviously, I think everyone involved in wrestling is always a fan and always will be a fan. So have you ever like found yourself like at any point in your career like fangirling is the term over like meeting a wrestler like Batista or even now like anybody?
Um, Not really. I always grew up around it. I mean, we're talking Hulk Hogan was at my
Yeah.
birthday party and stuff like that. So it was like really hard to impress me. Where I got those moments is when I was in the ring, and like I'd be in the ring first, and then someone like John Cena's music will hit, and then 30,000 people will go crazy knowing that he's about to wrestle me. Those kind of moments give it to me. You know what I mean? So it was like a couple people like that. When the music hit, that's when I get it. Standing in the ring, hearing other people's music, it's like, man, I'm about to wrestle D'Lo Brown. Like, man, I'm about to wrestle, like CM Punk. Like, this is awesome.
No, honestly, that's so crazy. Like, yeah, see like you where you progressed and like to where you are now and all your students, like I'll say it a gazillion times, but it's like so crazy to me like how you progressed and now how like you're passing that on to not just the battlefield students but your kids as well. So when AFA is doing his thing, his kids will be the next ones up and running, hopefully.
That's what we got to do. Keep continuing the legacy, right?
Yeah, honestly. So obviously you've wrestled plenty of places, plenty of states, but was there any like specific place that you were like, I really like this place and I will wrestle here any opportunity I get?
Hawaii,
Yeah.
Hawaii, straight up. Like any chance. I love that place. That place is special to me. Every time I go there, I feel like I stay there longer and longer. I like just being out there with my family, my cousins, Aleki and Bonnie, and all the wrestlers that Unify has out there, and it's special. It's Hawaii is a special place. Um, but yeah, for me, it's Hawaii. I love Hawaii. Puerto Rico too. I'd go to Puerto Rico anytime they call, just because of time spent. And yeah, they hate me there.
Well, I have a little something for us at the end of the video, which I don't think anyone can really hate AFA. Like we all love AFA. I mean, I love AFA. I don't know about whoever's watching this should and better love AFA because if not, I gotta go to like a couple trainings and then you'll catch my hands. Because if I throw hands now, it's not gonna be that great. So,
I don't know. I don't know.
but my dad goes and says we want to go to Hawaii and Florida. I've been to Florida. I absolutely love it, and I think that's where I might be going for college. But who knows? Who knows?
Hey, there it is. There it is. Florida's warm.
But
Battlefield just ran a show in Florida in July, so even Florida has a battlefield. So it'll be good.
yeah, no, exactly. Like that's the thing about wrestling now. Like 20 years ago, it wasn't like we didn't have all these independent shows. It was really just the like WWE at that point, or like all that's going past my time, obviously, and I don't know the names of it, but like we had like WWE, we only had the big stuff then, and now it's like, well, you could go to any state and there will always be like an independent show every weekend. So I think that's why I prefer the indies over the big timers, anyways.
Yeah, it's more intimate. You get to watch these guys grow. That's the fun part too. And you get to see the guys who have come up and come back down. And it's the journey is incredible if you follow it from the indie level.
Definitely, definitely. So, if there was a place that you didn't get the opportunity to wrestle in, what would that place be?
Japan,
Okay.
easy put.
Okay.
Japan, any company in Japan. I don't have to name one. Just Japan, just Japan in general. That's my unicorn. To me, in my career, it was easy to wrestle in Madison Square Garden in Japan. But shout out to Lance, who's over there right now, living the dream.
Oh, definitely. I mean, who knows? The battlefield has so many unpredictable things. They showing up everywhere, God. Because I swear to God, give it 5 years and who knows? Not even 5 years. Give it like 2.5, and Battlefield might be in Japan. I'll be like, that's it. AFA said that on the podcast. I was a first. He told me. He told me.
Battlefield done a lot of things in year one. We made it to Broadway. We ran shows out of state. We're traveling. We're holding it down. We have basically 2 brands. We're doing a lot in our first year.
No, definitely. But like, it's really good on the name. It gets you that fan base that you need. And like, as long as your fans stay loyal and continue coming to your shows, it'll always be successful. Because like, yeah, the wrestlers, the business is great, but without the fans, you wouldn't have a show. So
exactly.
I think that's, yeah. So did you or do you have like a certain warm up you did before you come out the curtain? Or was it like, I'm Samoan, I don't need to do nothing, I'm already ready?
So I would stretch a little bit, and I'd say a quick prayer. Ask the good Lord to protect me and watch over me in this match. Make sure I get home safe and sound to my kids. That's my ritual. And then I walk through those curtains as a killer.
Quite literally, guys. Like, he's so scary. Like, I would never, if I ever had like if I was born 1,000 years ago and I had a match with this man, I would have been like dead. Once I entered that ring, I would have been dead. Like, I love the battlefield. I'll say it a gazillion times. I love the battlefield. I love the Samoans, but you guys really do scare me. Like, it's like a whole different mood. Like, outside the ring, so welcoming, so loving, but in that ring, you're like, I gotta do what I gotta do. But that's a good thing, though.
Okay, well, we appreciate it, even though you're scared of us. But that's our job.
I mean, let's be real. You guys are like giants. When you're short like me, you like stand there like, oh, well, you really are tall. Like, when did you get that tall?
Right.
Definitely. So we know hardcore weapons matches are kind of a thing at the pay-per-view shows. Is that something we can expect more of? Was that something like you really enjoyed being involved in, or just like putting your students through it?
No. So Battlefield, I aim to offer a little bit of everything. So you get everything. If you're a fan of wrestling, you come to a Battlefield show, 9 out of 10 times you're going to find something that you really like about it. Even if it's just one thing, you'll find something that you like, because we try to mix it up and give a little bit to everybody. We try to give the hardcore fans their hardcore moments. We try to give the old school nostalgic fans their moments. We try to give the new school their wrestling. We try to give the guys the divas. We're trying to please every fan. We're giving the kids superheroes like Danger Jameson, and like we're trying to please everybody. So it's great.
No, yeah, like that's the thing. Like, whatever your style or taste is, if you hardcore or females is your thing, don't worry, Battlefield got it. So
Yeah.
I think that's like, you can walk in there not knowing what you're gonna expect, and the next thing you know, it's happened to me, and I swear to God, I thought I was gonna die, and it it was freaking Sean Maluta and Vinnie Mac. Like, they just started fighting. I was like, hey, I'm standing right here. I was just trying to get a picture. Please don't kill me. And like the next thing I know, I had like Rudo pulling me because those two are like fighting out. I'm like, okay, this is how I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die at a wrestling show, and it's okay though.
Anything could happen at the battlefield.
Okay, so now I gotta be like, oh, maybe I might die at a battlefield. Who knows?
No, not that, but anything could pop off.
Yeah. Tuning into the chat really quick, we have my aunt saying, we love you, AFA. We have my dad saying, we love BPW. And then this past Sunday, I'm going to put my friend on the spot, and she's going to kick my ass when I see her at work tomorrow. But my friend, Mia, it was her first ever show on Sunday, and I was like, of course, wrestling's my thing. Let me bring Mia out to a show, and she absolutely loved it. She's a hardcore fan of Terry and Dio, so if they ever see this, make sure you put her on the spot and ask her about those two, because she has a type. But she also says, hi, Mia here. We appreciate Mia. And then we also have Maddie saying, Madison is a BPW super fan. She loves it every month.
Oh, we love all the support. Thank all of you. Thank you all.
And that's the fan base that we're talking about. And Amia saying, don't come for me. Don't worry. I got Terry and Dio up. I got you. I'll have AFA put a word in too. Be like, hey, so you see that girl right there? Make sure you put her on the spot.
Right.
Yeah, she'll kick my ass, but it's fine.
That's all good. Love.
So it's not that common in like the wrestling, like especially in the indies. But how do you feel about like the intergender? Like obviously males train with females and females can kick males' asses. But is that something we can expect more of at the battlefield, or it has its place?
Training, yeah, we at training, yeah. Would I necessarily? Would I book a guy versus a girl intergender? No, I'm not. That's not my thing. Not to say that it will never happen, like an intergender, like if it makes sense, for a manager or something to get in there, it's just, it's not believable. So you probably won't see it at the battlefield.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Because, I mean, if you have, like, Ox Adams going against, like, some female wrestler like Adina Steele, it's not going to really make sense. I mean, you have a giant going against a female. Let's be real now, like, how that's going to play out.
Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of females can hold their own in the ring with the guys. Yeah. So it's not like I'm taking shots at the female, because I'm not. Female talent is tremendous, and they're world-class athletes. It's just the intergender stuff that I'm not a fan of, Yeah. I think it has its place, it has its time, but it's not, I don't think it's everyone's favorite. Yeah, it's just watching a man hit a woman it's not entertaining to me.
No, it fires me up. Like, no, get out of here. I mean, Sunday, Luca had me to that point. I was about to go in there and smack the shit out of Luca. Like, I love Luca. He seen me grow up. But Luca, you really pissed me off. I was about to be like, Jimmy, Luca, you gotta catch these hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that they can play both heel or face and piss the crowd off like that.
They're true pros. True pros.
They are. So you kind of mentioned it at the beginning. Obviously, at the last pay-per-view show, you did retire with Sean Maluta and your kids in the ring. Sean Maluta did what he did. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, in a way, I'm glad he did that, because I feel like had I retired that night, I feel like I would have maybe been a little bitter about what if, what coulda, shoulda, woulda. So now that he did do that, like, I'm not done until I feel that he's paid for what he's done. Like, to ruin a moment like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to get his ass kicked. So
100%.
He has to get a lesson. A lesson has to be taught. And I get to teach it to him in front of my father. And it's going to be great.
Oh my God, guys. I am super excited. I mean, the day of Battlefield shows is always hype. I wake up super early. I'm like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm ready for a show. And I'm like, well, it's not till like 6 o'clock at night anyways. So you got to wait 12 hours. But I think that's like a really good thing about your show specifically is like the anticipation. Like you guys post the promos, you post the matches ahead of time, and like fans know what to expect. I mean, sometimes we get the matches that aren't announced, and it's like, oh my god, these two are facing each other. That's great. So I think that's another thing. Like you got to stay on top of the social media and showing promos and stuff.
Yeah, and just keeping the fans familiar with the product. So it's like, walking into the battlefield. As soon as you walk in, you're handed your program, and you're catching up. You're reading all the results, and you're getting introduced to a new wrestler every month through the program, and also through the podcast. That we have, the Battlefield podcast. Like we're really doing it. We're pumping content out more and more. Now we even have a little mini documentary series. We just released Snitsky's today, which was awesome. I don't know if you had a chance to see it yet, but we had championship materials last month. We had Snitsky's, so we'll be pumping those out every month, right before our shows, and we're just going to keep seeing what the future brings us. I feel like anything could happen in the battlefield. You never know. Like, what independent company produces their own documentaries and has pay-per-views and developmentals? And
Oh,
we just gotta
100%.
stay the course and stay in our lane and keep doing our own thing and mind our own business, and sky's the limit.
No, definitely. I gotta put this on the spot, guys. So over the summer I did summer school to graduate a year early, which now I am in my senior year. I had one of my summer school teachers say, "Oh my god, how do you get all these like wrestlers and everything lined up?" She's like, "Well, I subscribed and I absolutely love them." So now today, like that was back in July. Now today I go and do my school and I get a message from my summer school teacher saying, "I absolutely love your RJ podcast. I love the Logan podcast." I'm like, these are all Battlefield stars. Like, I felt so great to hear that from my teacher. I was like, oh my god, someone still like acknowledges it. And like, she's like, well, now she showed it in her class today, so now my whole class got a whole thing about Battlefield students. So there you go.
Hey, one day at a time, one view at a time, and we'll get there.
It's really crazy, but it's the thing about wrestling. So we have Sam in the chat saying Battlefield is the best.
Oh man, Sam, what's up?
100%. And then we have Maddie saying the gavel is going to hammer down at Tribal Court next Sunday.
That's right.
Super excited.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a good one. So obviously, we talk about the pay-per-view shows. We talk about the student shows. What are some of those upcoming shows, and like what are the dates that people can go and be a fan
sure.
at?
So we have September 24th. We have our pay-per-view called The Gift. That features my father off of the Wild Samoan. That will also feature Dan Moff, Casey Navarro, Encore, all your favorite Battlefield superstars. Then we have a road show in Lake Ariel, Pennsylvania at Lake Geneva. I don't know how to say the name, but it's in Lake Ariel, and we have it plastered all over the place. But we have a show there September 30th called Splash at the Lake. That's a road show. That's an outdoor event. So that'll be a great time. We also have our Futures event October 15th coming back with the Futures. And then we have Fade to Black, which is our October pay-per-view, which is, I'm really excited for that one, just for the setup. I like October. I like Halloween. I like the theme. So Fade to Black will be something special, and that's on October 29th. So mark your calendar for all these.
100%. I'm super excited now because that whole weekend of October 28th, I'm going to view a college that I kind of have my mindset on, and then I get to see wrestling the day after. What a perfect weekend, guys. You got to get both like your education and you got to get your daily dose of wrestling. So it works out. So make sure you're coming to the shows.
That's right. Even if you can't come to the shows, guess what? You can still check us out on Premier Streaming Network. We have all our shows are in the library. If you subscribe to the network, you can catch it all. Also, all our Futures events are on YouTube, as well as Premier Streaming Network, and all of our socials. We're pumping content daily, so we're keeping it up to date. We're keeping it current, and we're keeping it moving.
100%. You could always expect promos and documentaries and matches and everything at the battlefield. So, of course, most importantly, do you have merch? And if so, where can people purchase that?
I do have merch right now. My merch is on Pro Wrestling Tees. If you want to check out the Samoan Storm store there, you can get a bunch of T-shirts there. I have a bunch of T-shirts, bunch of T-shirt designs on there. I think there's like maybe 10, 12 of them on there or something like that. But really cool ones. There's some Samoan Dynasty designs on there, some AFA JR ones, some brand specific ones. It's a good thing. Also, you could check out grab my merch at the shows. We always sell merch at the shows. All the wrestlers have stuff there. We sell all kinds of things. We have autographed pieces of the table that Matt Cardona and Casey Navarro went through the last time they wrestled. So we have a bunch of everything at the battlefield. So yeah, you got to come check us out. Check us out live and see what we got.
No, 100%. And so, like, if they wanted to, we keep saying follow you guys on social media, watch the promos, but where can they find that on social media?
Yeah, so on YouTube and Facebook, it's Battlefield Pro Wrestling. On Instagram, it's We Are Battlefield, and we don't have a Twitter yet. I don't like Twitter, but we'll get one eventually.
Yeah. And if they wanted to follow you specifically, where can they find you at?
Me specifically, right there at Samoan Storm. I even made it very easy for you viewers. I made it my little name gimmick.
Easy peasy. Now, before we close out, guys, I do got a little something I made. I didn't rush it, but like I was worried about messing it up. So let's play it and see what Alpha thinks about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, on Premier Streaming Network, welcome to the battlefield. The hardest promo I ever had to cut. I've never been more nervous to pick up a microphone. I've never been more nervous to walk down that aisle. Eventually it comes a time in everyone's career where you have to walk that aisle one last time. I love you, Battlefield. Thank you.
And
that was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you so much for that. That was incredible.
Of course. But thank you so much for coming on, taking the time out of your busy life and being my 100th guest. It really means a lot.
Oh, thanks for having me. And yeah, anytime you need any of us Battlefield guys, you know where to find us.
Of course. And really quickly in the chat, we have my friend Mia saying, "Aw." Then we have my dad saying, "I told myself I wasn't gonna cry." So we also have my aunt saying, "I'm crying." She goes and says, "Love it."
Love it.
Anthony Blackwell, who's another great podcaster, says 100 episodes.
Congratulations on that 100th episode. That's a big milestone for you, young lady. That's incredible.
Okay.
When you told me that you were doing your 100th episode, I was like, dang, this girl got 100 episodes already?
It's definitely dedication. I mean, some weeks I do like 3 to 4 episodes. It's a lot, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your students coming on. I appreciate all of my fan base and all my supporters. It really means a lot. Now we're going to wrap this up before I start crying, but I appreciate you all so much. Alpha, thank you again so much. And thank you to everyone for watching. And until next time, bye.